Would you like to learn how to master anything? And I mean anything. What if you had a system that showed you exactly how to master anything in your life? Now, listen, if you feel like you're feeling the skill gap in critical areas of your life, whether it's business, relationships, fitness, or anything else, if you're feeling frustrated from working hard and not feeling like you're leveling up, or if you just feel like you're failing on your ability to compound the results that you currently have. If any of that is true, then this video is for you because I'm going to show you a roadmap that will help you sustainably move you closer to mastery every single day. Here's a critical problem I discovered with my clients. Most male entrepreneurs often are bombarded with information. One day it's learn sales. The next it's master branding. The next it's start meditating, get more in shape, be a better dad. And without structure, it's like trying to grow in every direction at once with no real sense of mastery or purpose. And here's what this typically leads to: dabbling in different areas of your life with literally zero depth, inconsistent habits that don't compound, or worse, slow or stagnant progress towards meaningful goals. So, what's the solution? It's a skill tree. Now, let me take a moment and step back and tell you what a skill tree really is and where it came from. In video games, a skill tree shows the abilities you can unlock by gaining experience. And you get to choose your path based on your character and your goals. And because this principle works in games, we can apply this to life, business, relationships, whatever you want. Here's why it works. It provides clarity on what you need to focus on next. It helps you build confidence through seeing visible progress. And it allows for what I call strategic stacking and unlocking of complementary skills. More on that later. So how do we do this? There's 5 simple steps, and I'm going to show you exactly with an example of what this can look like for you. By the way, if you want to follow along, I actually have a 1-page worksheet that you can download by clicking the link below in this description. All right, so the first step in this is you have to define your end game. Now, what is your ultimate personal goal or business goal or spiritual goal or relationship goal? So I'm going to use an example, a random example for, let's call him Mark. Mark wants to build a 7-figure coaching brand. He wants to become a respected thought leader, and he wants to create time freedom and location independence. Here's the thing that I have really understood about entrepreneurs and high achievers. Some of you who are on this path have probably created a business that's in a niche, meaning that you believe that you are or desire to be a master of that one category or subcategory. And then I watch you in your life and you think you can be a master of everything at once. And you know that in business, to be a master of everything is to be a master of none. So if you know that this principle works in business, why don't you apply this in your life? How does that make sense? Really? So we're going to take this and we're going to show you what that looks like. When you try to be a master at everything at once, this is what it looks like. So we're going to identify, this is the second step. Now that we have our end game, our second step is to identify the core skill branches. And what you want to do is ideally break your goal into 4 to 5 major growth areas. These are going to be your branches. So let's look at this example. First example, business mastery. I'll zoom in a little bit after this. And then let's say there's another one, personal leadership. Then there's emotional intelligence. Then there's health and energy. Then there's thought leadership. These are all branches, and we'll zoom in a little bit so you can actually see this. So already, and I could go on, there's so much, but even within these branches, there's also other branches like any other tree. So let's look at business mastery. We can have, let's say, sales, we can have marketing, we can have offers, we can have systems, we could have branding. And so as we start to look, now we have another branch off. But wait, now we're looking at personal leadership, and we have things like discipline. We have confidence. Let me put that another one. We have communication. Now we can look at emotional intelligence. We have self-awareness. We have stress management. We have empathy, compassion. So as you can see, we have so many different branches that extend off of these primary branches. And these are all things that I see most high achievers or business people or entrepreneurs try to do at the same time. And then they wonder why they're struggling. So now we have to look at each area. And step 3 is creating tiered levels within each branch. Ideally, you want to structure it in a simple way. Each skill goes from basic to intermediate and to advanced. So let's take a look at health and energy. And this is where we start to see where focus can really come into play. So let's look at sleep. Let's call level 1 basic, and basically level 1 basic represents the environment that you're sleeping in. So the environment, the goal of that level, the skill that you need to adapt or acquire is making sure that your environment is conducive to sleep. So what does that look like? That looks like maybe getting a really nice pillow that's cooling. It could be getting really comfortable sheets that are also cooling, a mattress that cools, white noise, making sure that your room is at an appropriate temperature, blackout curtains, whatever the environment can help you sleep. That is like the basic stuff. Then we look at level 2, which is more intermediate, and that is making sure that your body is ready for sleep. Getting really skilled at allowing your body to be ready for sleep. You can get a sleep mask, you can have blue light blockers, you can have a wind down ritual, you could find ways to not look at your phone before bed. These are a little bit more challenging, but skills that you can adapt and acquire. Then we have level 3, which is probably more advanced, which is supplementation. So it could be melatonin, it could be magnesium, understanding your circadian rhythm and structuring your life in accordance to your circadian rhythm so you can optimize your sleep and yet optimize your energy. So now you're getting to a level of sleep mastery. This is just one area, right? I just wrote out maybe 20 areas. This is one branch of one skill tree that you can develop and get to mastery. Now, the next step here is you got to prioritize based on current gaps. So ask yourself questions like, what is the real gap that if you were to fill it with skill and mastery, that it would dramatically change your results? Second question is, what's holding me back right now? Is it me? Is it the environment? What are the contributing factors here that I believe are holding me back? And then choose that one branch and focus on one level at a time. And I can already tell that you might be wondering, like, that makes me feel like the progress is so slow. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And now the last step, which is tracking progress and giving yourself points for each skill. So assign points for growth actions and determine your reward for maximum points. So for example, things like no caffeine after 12 p.m. You can give yourself 10 points for that. No phone 30 minutes before bed. Give yourself 25. It could be implementing a nighttime routine. Give yourself 100 points every time you execute that nighttime routine. No phone 1 hour before bed. That's a little bit harder than the 30 minutes, so give yourself 200 points. Whatever the point value is, you get to determine that. Here's why this is so important and why skill trees are so effective. The system creates 2 results. The one is the reward that you set that unlocks when you have enough points due to the activity and habit creation. And then the second reward is the reward of the mastered skill. So in this case, when you're able to go to level 3, and you're able to master that, now you have unlocked optimized sleep. Let's talk about that thing that you might be thinking, which is, man, focusing on one thing when I have all these other things that I need to do, that feels like it would take me forever to master. You think mastery is slow when you're focused on one thing, but it's actually the opposite. We're fooled and tricked to believe that we need to focus on so many things at the same time in order to dramatically increase our results, but that's actually not true. In a game, when you unlock certain levels of skills, other skills and levels naturally unlock as well, making it easier for you to level up. Why wouldn't this work in life? So for example, when you unlock that level 2 of sleep, you notice that one of the other things in that tree was recovery. All of a sudden, that will likely you unlocking level 2 sleep will likely unlock level 1 recovery, just because the 2 are correlated. And for example, unlocking maybe a level 2 exercise will likely unlock a level 1 nutrition, because when you work out and you start feeling better about your body, you will naturally want to eat better to sustain your growth in that area. But when we think that, oh, if I just don't focus on nutrition or I don't focus on recovery, then I'm not doing anything, that's actually not true. When you master one area, it naturally is going to impact and allow and have an easier leveling up process in those other areas due to the mastery in one area. So that's it. If you're ready to stop guessing and start growing with a clear system, let's design your personal skill tree together. Shoot me a DM. I'm at the Professional Wingman, and we'll map out your very own mastery path. The skill tree becomes your personal GPS for growth. They eliminate confusion. They reduce the overwhelm, and they replace random effort scattered with real strategic development.